Hi everyone, welcome to my first video here on Plan with Karina. I'm so excited to share my love for planning, journaling and all things creative with you. Today we're starting with the daily journaling session in my Hobonichi Cousin, followed by setting up some of my 2025 bullet journal for January with a very particular theme. Let's dive right in. If you're watching this, thank you so much for being here and supporting my very first video. I'm Karina and this channel is where I'll share my passion for journaling, productivity and creativity. I've been journaling for about 6 or 7 years and it's become my favourite way to stay organised while having fun. So I thought, what better way to kick things off than by sharing a journaling session and a sneak peek of my 2025 bullet journal setup. If you're new here, which you probably are, because this is my very first video, I'd love for you to introduce yourself in the comments. Let's connect and share our planning journeys. For my daily journaling in the Hobonichi Cousin, I currently don't have a set way of journaling, so I take inspiration from many Instagrammers, and today I'm just putting a simple header about today's most important fact. It's my mum's birthday. My parents are currently on holiday in Gran Canaria and she is having a lovely day, I'm sure of it, with sun, sea and sangria. Now, I'm creating my to-do list and I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but I'm using my transparent plastic fountain pen with a fine nib. I picked this one up from Gretel Creates shop. The ink I'm using is actually one from Diamine Ink that I created at Stationery Fest earlier this year. They were hosting small ink mixing sessions, and whilst it's not showing brilliantly on the camera, it's a deep maroon red wine-ish colour. And me and the lovely girl who was hosting the workshop bonded over our love of a particular singer and called the colour my roommate's cheap ass rosé. Yes, I'm well aware rosé is actually pink, but it felt too on the nose to call it maroon. And I also really recommend, if you ever get the chance to mix your own ink colour through some sort of workshop or whatever, please go ahead and do it. Some of the tasks I've added to this list are things I haven't actually accomplished yet, and some that I accomplished that I didn't even put on my to-do list this morning. Little side quests, if you will, hence the change in tense for some of them. After my to-do list, I added this little pink emoji header strip from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then I started a mid-morning journal entry, and I'll speed that up a little bit for you now. My favourite shops, planner shops or stationery shops, are Coffee Monsters Co. and Planner Face for kits. I've also recently discovered Josephine Bowes, very late to the trend on that one, but having met her at a planner meet, I'm thoroughly glad I was introduced to her and her kits. Also, A Mundane Life, who is a good friend of mine, and I am an Erin Condren girl at heart. I haven't used them for the last 2 years. Or I didn't use them last year as I switched to a Tilly's journal, and I'm not using them in 2025, but looking at adding it back to the roster in 2026. After that, I added a box and a drop shadow with this little sad girl era die cut from A Mundane Life, and then I'll go back at the end of the day and journal some more and mark the rest of my to-do list off. I then flipped to my weekly section. This year I've been keeping this section as simple and as basic as possible. Previously I used to use printable Hobonichi Cousin weekly sticker kits from Etsy, but we then moved to having this living on the island of my kitchen so that all of the family can see it when it's opened at the week, so that they can see what's going on, and if anything last minute comes up we can check where I'm going to be or the kids or even the other half is, It's mainly for him, I think, secretly, so he knows what's going on. Therefore, I didn't want to add too much detail this year or stickers, so that people can't see the important info, and I think I'm going to carry that on for next year. As I don't require the bottom hours of the day because I am doing my favourite thing in the world, which is sleeping, I turn these into little mini daily to-do boxes, and then I use the left-hand side for my brain dump weekly list, which then gets filtered into the daily boxes, as you can see, which I'm doing and migrating or ticking off tasks here. Okay. Now let's move on to my main 2025 bullet journal setup. And this is in my Rebel Jones dot grid journal. So if you see my recent Instagram posts, you will have seen these pictures and you'll know I've picked a Taylor Swift theme for my main bullet journal this year. Her music's been such a big part of my life, especially over the last 2 years, and I thought it'd be the perfect way to cover an entire year's theme, as there's so many eras. My aim is each month will follow in order of the album releases. Let me know in the comments if you have a favourite album or any ideas for Swift lore elements I could incorporate to any particular months. So for January, the first album is obviously the debut album. So for the cover page, I did the very simple doodle you will have seen previously of teardrops on my guitar. I found this on a Google image search. I'm really sorry, but I don't know who originally drew it, but it was fantastic. So I hope they don't mind that I've used it. Then I did this small monthly calendar with a simple layout. Honestly, in hindsight, I'm not a fan of this, as I normally prefer a calendar across 2 pages, as this just feels squished. But now I know for next time. I like to keep things functional but still add decorative elements to make it fun. So as you can see, I've used the font from the album cover and also the blue and green colour for the era. Again, I think this might be another reason I'm not a fan of this page, mainly because I am an OG Swiftie. As much as I am an OG Swiftie, blue and green are not my colours. I think you'll be able to tell which are my favourite eras when I get to them. I'm setting up my habit tracker on my monthly goals pages. For the habit tracker, I'm focusing on journaling, reading and getting my steps in. For the monthly goal pages, I'm dividing it into 3. I've opted for a financial goal, a creative goal and a reading goal. These may seem a little bit selfish or easy at the moment, but as I've actually never done goal journaling before this year, I'm completely new to it and wanted to start small. To keep the Taylor vibe, I'm adding some mini doodles of stars and butterflies. And there we have it, my January setup inspired by Taylor Swift's debut album. Whilst I am ambivalent towards it, I am proud of it, and it already has me feeling motivated and excited for the year ahead. Thank you so much for joining me for my very first video on Plan with Karina. This channel is such a dream come true, and I can't wait to share more planning and journaling content with all of you. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's spreads, or share your favourite Taylor Swift lyric. I'd love to incorporate your ideas in future setups. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new videos go live. Here's to an amazing 2025. Let's make it our best year yet. See you in the next one.